This video is on a workplace inspection checklist or a individual or group audit that you'll be doing for your assignment. This is how you use the form. This is the form we're looking at. So the workplace inspection checklist. Up in the top section, we have a variety of things to fill in, like the date, the location of our inspection, and who is inspected by. So again, it could be a number of people here. There's a space at least for 4 or more names. And then, of course, in the top right-hand corner here, we have the company name, our company name that we're going to use, and our logo. As we go through the inspection area, our inspection sheet to do our safety audit, we have to keep a couple of things in mind. And what we'll do is we'll roll down to the very bottom before we get started, just to point a couple of things out on the form that we need to know about and understand what they represent as far as on the safety audit. So at the very bottom of the process, at the bottom of the sheet, says number 1, the checklist will be used by the employees responsible for conducting the workplace inspection. So for this assignment, you'll be going through and you'll be responsible for the workplace assessment, inspection of the area that you've been assigned to. Number 2, it says hazards will be rated as A for high risk, B for moderate risk, and C for low risk. As we get back up in the form, you will notice that once you locate a potential hazard in a particular area, you'll have to give it a rating of A, B, or C. So if you think is extremely high risk to injury or to death, we'll rate it as a high. A moderate risk means that it could potentially lead to potential serious injury, but not 100% sure about it. So we definitely need to maybe do something about it. And the low risk means that it's something that is a risk that could eventually lead up the letters up to A, but it's not pressing. It doesn't need to be addressed right here, right now. It could be addressed a little bit later on by somebody to correct the problem. Also down the lower part of the form there, it says the high risk hazard identification during the inspection will be dealt with immediately. So when a high risk to A, it's something that has to be dealt with immediately, that cannot wait, that has to be changed right now. No one should start be working in that area until that problem is corrected, that hazard is corrected. Number 3 says the results of the inspection will be given to the JHSC. So that's the Joint Health and Safety Committee. So in a world, if we were doing this inspection, we would have to then turn over our results to our Joint Health and Safety Committee. Number 4 says that the Joint Health and Safety Committee will establish priorities and make recommendations to the employer for corrective action. So if we were doing this in the real world, like I said, we turn it over to the committee. The committee would then establish which ones are priority hazards that need to be dealt with and make recommendations to the employers so we can correct this hazard. Number 5, appropriate supervisors and managers will be contacted to ensure follow-up of the corrective action. So they will be contacted to find out if the hazard has been dealt with as a corrective action, and that'll be their responsibility. Number 6, the completed workplace inspection will be posted on the safety bulletin boards. So once again, once this inspection is completed in real life world, we would put this on the safety bulletin board for all employees to see. So scrolling back up to the top of the page again, now we know the different hazards. And then we can go through the different categories. They're broken up into different categories. A being general workplace conditions, so like the main office, where there was a main office in the work environment. And it breaks down to smaller categories, talking about the floors, walking and walking services in those areas, in the general main office area. And that breaks it down even further. A, clean, orderly, sanitary condition. B, free of slip, trip, or fall hazards. Free of protrusions, openings covered and barricaded. So as we went through each of these ones that apply to our section, under the S or the U, we would check off on either one of the columns, whether it was the area was satisfactory or unsatisfactory. If the area was unsatisfactory, we can make some comments about why it was unsatisfactory. Let's say that the under B here, the free of slip, we could say a puddle of water was found on the floor, located by wherever it was located by. We would rate the hazard, whether it be an A, B, or C, and then we would put down any action that was taken immediately because if it was an A hazard. So let's say we classified the spill as an A hazard. The corrective measure might have been us putting up a sign saying wet floor, or corrective action could have been um, um, calling the custodial services and they had it mopped up. Okay. Then that's how you will fill the form out. Again, there's different areas. We have aisleways, passageways, exits that can apply. Not all areas will apply to the area that you will be inspecting. We have general safety in the area, whether it be fire extinguishers, checking them, checking the electrical outlets, stuff like that. We have our restrooms that we would want to check, of course. If the location where we were working had a computer room already there, and we were working in that area, we'd want to check that too. If it was a warehouse type facility, we would check that area and inspect that area according to the A, B, and C below. Again, for that warehouse area, checking out the passageways, the aisles, the exits, and again, checking all the general safety, the lighting, the tops of the cabinets and panels, any dark corners or behind equipment, look for any spills or leaks. Check the heated room, the tool room, if there was a tool room or a sample room. Finally, we have the other category of materials. Looking at any materials, stacking and storing the materials, and they're broken down to further comments here. The waste disposal, tools and equipment in that area. And again, we can break it down even further. We can check the general housekeeping of the external part of the property. We're working on the external part of the property. So in the yard or the parking lot, that's where we're working. We can check off these areas to be inspected. If there was mobile equipment that needed to be inspected, as well as the last part, our D, which is the management office and warehouse space. Again, some general stuff, safety, emergency procedures, and other areas we can check in the process. So that's how we fill out the workplace safety inspection sheet.